Hey, it's been a while, guys, since we've had a bit of a chit chat. Quite a few reasons why. One, the weather. I tell you, it's Betty Swallock's anthem, and also we're a bit exhausted after the lake project, or the island project, more like. So once Digger Man left, or Macro Man left, we were a bit pooped, and we needed to regroup somewhat, recharge our batteries. Been a couple of reasons really why we've been off the radar, so to speak. One, it's just so hot and still no rain. Toon was still feeling under the weather and she was struggling to get out of bed. She's a lot better now though, thank goodness. So we'd ditched the camera for a while, and I'm not saying it was a nice break, but it was all getting a bit physical and mental draining, and things were getting a little bit fraught. Obviously with Toon being out of the picture, I was having to do everything, and I know I get a bit of stick for not pulling my weight, but I was basically doing the farm for a couple of weeks on my own, and I wasn't coping that well. I was a broken man. So yeah, it was nice to put the video away for a while, and not long after that we had a visitor, and then we'll call him Santa because he looked pretty similar to Santa. Scared all the local kids a lot. It was what Toon and I needed, a bit of almost distraction away from the rigours of the farm. Yeah, it's got us back on track, old Santa. And we also had another guy from the US turn up for a few hours and had a good natter with him. Hopefully he's going to come back and spend a bit more time with us, and Toon can rustle up something in the kitchen for him. But yeah, the power of good people, and let a bit of steam out the ears. Very beneficial. So we cranked up the karaoke one night and we went out for a couple of meals, and it was good. It's definitely recharged our farmers' batteries. So much so, when Santa left, I was like a dog with two dicks. I started putting fencing up, I was shredding, I sprayed all my fruit trees, I've sprayed all the palm trees, all the coconut trees. It's great. Toon and I set up a bit of a fence enclosure around the goat house. And this, if I had to cherry pick one, this is the reason that it took it out of us so much. We should have got all the fencing up before we embarked on this, basically because prior to that it was quite easy looking after the goats every day. We'd put them onto the island, close the gate, and that was it. As soon as it'd get late afternoon, early evening, we'd bring them back off the island. They'd run all the way back to the goat house and put themselves away. But because we'd struggled, Toon and I had struggled to get the fencing up, it was just too heavy, and so we were having to look after the goats all day, every day. And as much fun as goat herding is, guys, it does take its toll. You imagine, it's touching 40 degrees most days, and goats don't like to be in the shade that much. It was hard going. Plus Donna, the mother of our last little doeling that was born, she was very sick. She was basically trying to shit herself to death, and we tried lots of things, but in the end we had to get the vet out, and he worked a bit of magic with her. He also left us with a list of medicines that we should have in stock, recommended a few for us. We've got all those, and I was like bloody Dr. Kildare. I was jabbing everyone. Hopefully it's done its trick. She's a lot better now, and she's eating well. She seems to be on the up. So that was another thing that was a worry, and I'll be honest with you guys, I was a bit of a bell end. I was getting a bit stroppy. What was going through my head was, I'm I'm doing like 10-hour days in the baking sun, working hard, and I can't keep up. I can't work longer, I can't work harder, and if I can't keep up and I'm falling further and further behind, we're bloody doomed. And I was turning into a grumpy old bastard, which isn't me. So yeah, with Santa turning up, it definitely helped us turn a corner and just reset everything. On top of that, Toon feels a lot better. She's helping me now, and we're back on track. So apologies that we didn't video for a while, but we're good to go again. But like now, just walking, I'm not even halfway around the lake, and it's so hot. There's not a breath of wind. We had strong winds all day yesterday. Hopefully, we were hoping that it would bring some rain, but nothing at all. I'm not even halfway around the lake, and you know, I've got to look for some shady cover. So this is as good a place as any, isn't it? All right, missus. Spoon's not bothered. She likes a suntan. It's probably why she's as thick as mint. She's probably just constantly living life with a heat stroke. We haven't done anything else to the lake since Macro Man left, apart from I've put about 20 wheelbarrows of hyacinth in. I put them the far side of the road that goes onto the island, and most of them have worked their way all round the outside, and they're round the back off Macro Man Point. So well done, Vince. You've got that swim named with your suggestion. And Mr. Mitch, just behind the little mountain that we left there, there's a deep hole down there. So your suggestion of the glory hole swim has been assigned to over there, which leaves a swim to be named over there. We'll just have a quick walk over there, and it might give you a bit of a, hopefully it'll give you a bit of an inspiration and put a suggestion forward. We're only going to name 4 at the moment. We've got the opposite side of Macro Man Point, so that's the point on the island. The swim will be behind that, fishing towards it. So we need a name for that swim. I was going to call it the Nook originally, because we'd left a little island in there, or Poacher's Corner, something like that. But it is quite secluded. We've still got over 1.5 meters in here. It's the reason we haven't stocked it. Once the rains come and it all gets topped up, then we'll pump our stock ponds empty and pop them all in here. Looking forward to doing the videos for that. Our big stock pond here that's got the monsters in, God knows how many's left in there. We don't think any have been poached. It's hard to see how big they are. I know when Eddie came, we got a Mekong out of there, and I've caught a couple that were bigger than that. So hopefully they're still in there and even bigger. But that's going to be quite scary. There's a lot of stuff in there with sharp teeth and sharp fins as well, dorsal fins and pectoral fins. So yeah, it's not going to be for the faint-hearted, that. Less than a week ago, one of our neighbours drove past and stopped and chatted to Toon and said, when are you two going to start stocking your lake with your fish? And she just politely asked, what the f is it got to do with you? Said, I'm waiting to see a poacher or two first and shoot them in the head, and then we'll stock it. The bloke just left. Making friends wherever she goes, my missus. Here's a bit of a guideline for you. So before we had the lake dug out to what it is now, the water was over this pump here, and we're going to have to reposition that, but we're going to run that off one of the tilapia ponds to water our palms. We don't want to be reducing the water in here down and down. So we'll pump out the tilapia pond until we get to about 1.5 meters depth in there, and then we'll start on the other ponds. And if it stays dry until June, no, it'll be interesting to see how low it goes. If we survive this, I'm pretty sure it can survive any dry season. And the reason I'm so confident about that is when the rains come, the capacity is a lot more now. Where I'm walking now, this is lower than the height of the shelf there. So if we get excessive rains, this will flood before there. and there's a lot of area of shelf. I mean, you think how big the exterior of the lake is. This shelf runs all the way around, so yeah. Good spawning ground for the fish. Good ambush places for the fish as well, predatory fish. We're thinking about doing a swim here. As the water level comes up here, this is quite a nice expanse of water. Oh my god, this is hottest part of the day. Excellent, ideally, walking around. Okay, so over there is going to be another swim, another raised platform, steps down to the water's edge, and you can fire straight over into the glory hole there. There's another like a trough along here as well, so if you can be bothered plumbing the depth, you might be able to find those. So this is good. This is a nice little area. This seems to hold the most fish at the moment, but it's looking good. We did lose one huge, I say huge, it's the biggest snakehead I've ever seen, common snakehead. It was and that's over 3 kg. Before that, I've only seen the big ones in the market, which are touching about 2.5. And Macro Man, it looks like he twatted it with his bucket. So unfortunately, we didn't find it until the next day, and it was howling. So that got fed to the catfish. But we did rescue another one. Another one had jumped out onto the temporary dam that Macro Man had made, and we just got there as it was starting to go crispy. But we popped him back in, and he's all right. So we've still got one monster in here. I think I've said before, these Thai fish, most of the species grow incredibly quickly, and they're very hardy. A lot of them as well. The barbs tend not to be. They're like a soft meat fish. They're not so hardy. But yeah, a lot of these snakeheads and catfish are incredibly robust fish. So, if you don't electric shock, you don't drain the ponds and net everywhere every season, you give them a chance to grow, they're almost like a different fish to what you see in the markets or people selling, you know, that they've caught in the wild round here. You just can't believe how big they grow if you give them a chance. And they're certainly going to get a chance in here. We've seen some tilapia that are about 2 kg. Can't wait to stock this with the big stuff. We think we've found someone to help us build the main goat house, but he hasn't done any building work for us before, so as a little test project, him and Toon are going to rebuild the little solar outbuilding there. Toon's got a bit of a design change that she wants to implement on that, and he's going to come and help do that and give us his expertise. Apparently he has done building before, but we take that with a pinch of salt out here. So we thought if we can get him on there, have a look at the quality of his work. If he's good to go, then once we're ready, the goat mothership will commence on there. In the meantime, I'm drilling post holes around the land. Toon's just gone to order the fence posts, and that is one hell of a job, but I'm re-energized, no problem. You know, me and Toon will always give you the flip side of our life here. We won't show just the good stuff. And there are some bad days and bad weeks, maybe a bad month or two. But yeah, we try to keep it real for you. And it feels good when you've struggled and you've been really down, and then you're given a bit of a boost and you bounce back up again. I'm sure it makes you stronger. I really do believe that, because then stuff in the future, as the land develops, you can say, well, look back at this. What a load of bollocks that was. How did we cope with that? And if we can get through that, we can get through anything. You know, it's at the moment, you know, the weather is just incredible and relentless. If we can get through this, and if the farm can get through this, then I'm sure it's mostly good stuff that we're due in the future. I really do think that. Look at my banana trees. They're as rough as old bollocks now, but we have been letting the goats have them where you think how much food was available along here, and when we were letting them out every day, they were just eating the two sides of the mound around the island. We had tried to push them over the far yonder, get them down the far bank. There's a lot of rye there, but it's so overgrown with that thick grass that they used to make grass roofs with. They really didn't like going in there. So goats know best, and I need to just get Caesar in there just to flatten it down. I'm not going to plough it. I don't want to disturb the soil. I just want to lay it all down, and then I'm sure they'll go in there and pick all the good stuff out. Oh, let me show you my chippings. Exciting stuff, isn't it? I'm so proud of this. So a lot of you will see me making the biochar previously, and what has been fiddly with that is the little bits on the end of the catin sticks. But once they dry out, they go through our shredder, the one that we were using for the bananas. So anything that's small to medium size, once it's dried, we can smash it to pieces. And this is nice. I've made it nice and thick like we have done with all the other mulch. So the only thing is it's as dry as arseholes underneath there. But never mind. So each palm is getting a full black bin full of chippings. Santa helped me one day. We got two binfuls done. It's only another 40 palms to go. One of my next jobs is, as well as watering my palms, I need to go around and clip some of these off here. They have been getting a bit of an attack again, so I've got my old organic cocktail mix and I sprayed them today. A big thanks to Santa as well. He serviced one of our battery operated spray pumps, so it was enough power now to actually spray instead of it just pissing out the end. But you can see once these beetles move in, bloody things, terrible things. Hopefully that'll keep them off them now, and then when the rains come these should really rock it up. Well, if they don't, I might start getting all despondent. That'll do, guys, and it won't be so long till the next video. We'll get Mrs. Crabtree on here as well. We've still got to do our Q&A. I think now she's firing on all cylinders again. We'll get her in front of the camera, and we'll have a right old giggle. Cheers.